once your ScanNCut is turned on, you're going to pick your data. I am going to go with Save Data. I have two different files. So one is in the machine, right here, my dragon. I'm just going to say OK, and then I'm going to go in here, select everybody, and unify. Now I'm going to go ahead and resize it down to, well, about 3 3/4 inches high, and just set it to the side, or actually to the bottom, and say OK, add. Now we're going to go and save data where my font is living, where my text file is, right here. These are so easy to make. This says Dragon Lady. Okay, and once again, I'm going to go in here, this time use this button, and go like so and say OK, OK. Once again, unify. So Dragon Lady is all one thing. Now I'm going to take a look at this just because it looks like there's a big gap between the LA and the DY. So I'm going to want to fix that. So to fix that, I'm going to go in here and say OK, and I'm going to ununify. Now I'm going to go in here and select, there we go. Select the D, and I'm going to go in here and move it over. I don't know what happened there. I'll have to see. Maybe it was something I did, but I'm going to go in and adjust these letters. Normally I wouldn't, but I will for this because it needs it. And say OK, and then I'm going to repeat. Now I show you that because sometimes, and by the way, notice if I have select all and just unclick my dragon, it'll just be my letters. I show you this because sometimes you get something going and you think, wow, this is just perfect. And then something happens and you go, oh shoot. There's usually a way to undo it. Now I'm going to zoom in here just so I can make sure. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like this. I just want to make sure that this is down so that it's not touching. Okay. It says Dragon Lady with the dragon. That's exactly what I want. So once I am satisfied, I will just double check the height of my cup. And I know I've got everything all in here, but the height of this cup, it is going to be just fine to have that wrapped around. It's going to look so good. So now all I have to do is put my vinyl, load my mat, and we're ready to cut. Now it is the hardest part, and depending on your design, this can actually be the most time consuming. We need to weed our design, and what that means is that we need to go through and be nice and slow about it too, as we don't want anything to tear. Now, if for some reason something didn't cut through perfectly, do not worry. If something did not cut through perfectly, you can usually very easily remedy the situation. But you want to go slowly because the only thing you really don't want to do here is you do not want to tear it. So, for example, here you can see I've got one. Okay, so the very, very tip of this particular little bit did not quite cut, or it's just getting hung up on itself. So by working really slowly, it actually just popped right off. But because I'm moving slowly, nothing got torn. Everything's all right. See, here's another one where it's just kind of at the very, very point hanging up on itself. And notice that I had this on a low setting. It was at about 2.5. I had it on a low setting because I did not want to cut through the backing paper. That's very important here. Now, if it's being stubborn, this is what I do. I just, at some point, when you need to have it just let go at some point, I'll just do that, what I just did there, to just gather up the excess material. And you can also, if you're going to tear it, tear away. Look how easily that tears. That's why I say move slowly. That's definitely a lesson that I have learned. Oh, does it really matter? Yes, it really, really does. And sometimes just going in a different direction, like for those points, I didn't have to tear or break anything. I just needed to come at them in a slightly different direction. And then we're going to weed out the little bits from the center of our letters. Now, at this point, if we did not like anything about this design, if there was something, let's say, let's say the way that the letters are, or, you know, like there's some things like my L and my A, actually, I didn't notice that they overlapped, so it cut both. I'm not going to move those at all. Let me bring this way up so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I didn't notice the L overlapped onto the A, and you can see how it's cut out there. I'm going to leave it alone, and I'm going to leave it alone because if I do that, then it's going to go on there just like it is now, and it'll stay whole. It'll be fine. So that's just another little trick there, is you don't always want things to get, you know, you don't always want to weed things out. Sometimes you want to leave some things alone. So that's definitely a case there. All right, my daughter often refers to herself as the dragon lady. The only thing I don't love is the Y. I wish the Y was up and a little different. So I'm just going to pick it up and move it ever so slightly, like so. Okay, but I like everything else. This is exciting. And I can just double check here. Everybody, ooh, we're just ever so slightly off. So I'm like between both of these together, I'm like maybe a quarter of an inch off. So here's my choices. I can go like so and just bend that top one over, which is what I think I'm gonna do. Or, because there is a bit of a gap, I can do just this and then just that. I think I'm gonna go with the gap though, because I think it'll actually look kind of cool for one of those top pieces. So here's our next step. We get out the transfer sheet, plastic sheet, adhesive on one side, and it's got grid marks. This stuff is magical. So what we're gonna do is just lay this over the top, and mine is a little crooked. You can try to do that a little better, but I wasn't gonna worry about it. Now the only thing that, oops, I got a little bit of stuff, weed, there's a weed, and then you're gonna wanna press. Now, sometimes if I've got just the stylus here, I like the spatula best. Julie Faye Fan Balzer taught me that. She says she likes the spatula, and I have to agree, it works really well. But if all I have is the little stylus right here, if I don't see where I have my spatula in my messy craft room, I don't worry about it. I just give all of this a nice once over with my little stylus, and once I feel like I got it all, usually it picks up pretty easy, but sometimes a pattern has to go and be stubborn, or a design, I guess I should say. We just scoop it up, kaboom, we're ready to go. I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so fun. And this transfer sheet, I know you're gonna, if you're like me and you're an impatient crafter, you think, is that really a necessary step? Well, here's what happens. This dragon, if I tried to put this dragon on here without the transfer sheet, for sure I would have bubbles, I would have gaps, it would be pretty much a mess. So I'm going to figure out where I want the bottom. Ah, there we go. Okay. And then I'm just going to place it on. Now see how that makes it, makes it so easy. Now these, it looks like two of the top are going to roll over. That's okay. And then you're going to repeat. Sometimes just my finger is enough. Just a little pressure is enough to get it to transfer. It kind of depends on the material you're working on, the material that you're going onto. See how that didn't do anything at all? It's not transferring at all. So when we need a little more pressure, don't worry about it. Just come through with the little spatula, with your little stylus, with something, and try again. Now sometimes it's pretty rare, but if I get one that it just does not want to transfer, it does not want to play nice. Oh, see, this one's doing it. What I'll do is I'll press on this side once I get an edge. So I am going to do the task here of just getting everything, especially the edges, attention to detail here, get everything pressed really down so that then as I come up, see if it's not lifting, I've not done enough and I need to do a little more. Just take my time here. We cannot be in a rush on this part. This project, these vinyl projects, they're so simple, but you just really need to get the details just right. So that means just slow down. And I know it goes against It goes against my quick, speedy crafter style, but it's really well worth it. Here it is all done. Oh my goodness, I love it. And remember I talked about the little spot in there. You can see it's filled in, so it really doesn't look like it just looks the way it should look. And then here's another one that I did. Same exact process. This time didn't add words, just did a built-in pattern in my ScanNCut. And just this time it's kind of an iridescent, different vinyl. It comes in so many different colors, in so many different styles. I love these pencil cups. We're ready, getting ready, I should say, for back to school. Just got to get these filled up, get the homework station set, and we are ready to rock. Hope you've enjoyed this video. For any questions, any requests, anything at all, feel free to leave me a comment. I'll see you next time.